Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Coffin Talk. In today's episode, we're going to explore Halloween 2018. One of the cool things about the Halloween franchise is that it really does have a multiverse. The timeline depends on how you're watching it. So, our original timeline in Halloween is what? Halloween 1, Halloween 2, then they try to do something different with Halloween 3, trying to make an anthology series, which didn't really work out. Then we got Halloween 4, Halloween 5, then we got Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, and that's really where our original timeline stops. Because then we were presented with the 7th entry, Halloween H2O, where Jamie Lee Curtis returned to the role of Laurie Strode and faced Michael Myers, but this time it was a bit different because the final girl was finally empowered. Then, after that, we get Halloween Resurrection. Alright, so now we've got two timelines. You got the original up to part 6, then you've got part 1, part 2, H2O, and Resurrection. Right, so that's two timelines now. Well, then what happened was Halloween Resurrection was not very successful. I do not like that movie at all. And we got Rob Zombie, my favorite, rebooting the franchise. And so he made Halloween, and he made Halloween 2. Which, I found very entertaining, but the essence of the original Michael Myers was actually lost, in my opinion, in those films. So fast forward, and then we get Halloween 2018, which is the subject of this video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. As we gear up, really, for the 50th anniversary of the first film in 2028, when I'll be 40. Alright, so we did a quick wardrobe change because that was a Jason shirt, not a Halloween Michael Myers shirt. Now we're wearing the right shirt. So let's begin talking about Halloween 2018. I remember when it was first announced, and Jamie Lee Curtis made the announcement, and there was promotional stills of her kind of wearing the same outfit she wore in Halloween. Actually, she did wear the same outfit, part of the promotional things. And I remember it being just so exciting because here we were kind of getting a reboot or a redo of what made Halloween H2O so special was that, Laurie Strode finally was able to become empowered to be the one to pursue Michael at the end, right? When she yells his name in Halloween H2O, it is such a goosebump worthy moment. Like every time I watch it, I feel so empowered, like as a viewer. So 2018 coming, here's another shot at it. And there are some similar elements. So in Halloween H2O, you do see that she's kind of an alcoholic. She's got some mental health issues. In Halloween 2018, the same thing is happening. She's an alcoholic, and she's clearly got some mental health issues. She's a survivalist. She's isolated herself. And her daughter, Karen, is a therapist who keeps telling her that she needs cognitive behavioral therapy. Karen is kind of the result of trauma, right? Because after growing up and being trained to fight Michael Myers, she ended up becoming a therapist or a psychiatrist, whatever she is, and she is trying so hard to, keep the boogeyman away. And yet we all know the boogeyman is real in this franchise, and we know it happens to her too. But she's got some great moments, Karen, as a character. She's actually my favorite character of this new trilogy, aside from Laurie Strode. But Laurie Strode, when you first see her, like complete survivalist, she's ready to fight. She's lived, you could tell, a difficult life. Other than probably Michael Myers and the journalist, the investigative journalist, they bring it up, right? They always bring it up, and they say, when did you get your daughter back when you lost her? And she's like, well, I didn't, but you knew that. And that was kind of a mean thing to say. So then she kind of scurries him away. And it's very interesting, very interesting. How mental health becomes a big role in the 2018 trilogy or saga, because it really does. When Laurie goes to the restaurant and she's like, I saw this shape. And then my favorite scene in the entire trilogy, and maybe in the entire franchise, is when Laurie walks outside that restaurant and she's standing there and the traffic's coming and she's just there and she's just vibing with it, like the trauma. And then Allison goes and hugs her, and that's really where my relationship with Allison starts to strengthen upon rewatching. Because at first I didn't like the character, but then you see how supportive she is of her grandmother, Laurie Strode. And so when they do have their final fight in the 2018 film, it's so good. But then you realize he's not really after her. He never really was after her because they decided to retcon the brother-sister angle, which I don't really like them doing that, but they did it, so oh well. There's a lot in the 2018 saga that I don't agree with, but it is a very entertaining trilogy. And it is one that, you know, got me excited and got me back to the movies. And then as we saw 2018, we saw Scream come back. We saw I Know What You Did Last Summer come back. And then Halloween finishing strong. It really did. Scream 7 breaking box office records. Like the franchise for horror are coming back and in such great ways. I'm so excited. I'm absolutely here for it. So the mental health component of the Halloween 2018 franchise is really what I want to focus on, because I feel that there's something there that we need to explore. In the first one, it's all post-traumatic stress, right? She has experienced this traumatic thing in 1978. In 2018, 40 years later, how ironic, right? 20 years later, then 40 years later, she's faced with the boogeyman. And, you know, he's coming after, you know, the town. Really not her, but the town. When he does get in her path, it's a doctor, a psychiatrist that puts him in that path. So again, mental health, boom. Her fight with him, you know, it's not a trap, it's not a cell, basically, or sorry, it's not a cage, it's a trap, right? Sorry, I messed that one up. But that's such a great moment, and I really feel when you want to use metaphors to fight your own mental health battles, that whole sequence is a good one. When they trap Michael and they set him on fire, it's like, okay, my plan worked. But then it really didn't, because Halloween Kills comes out, and then we're dealing with mass hysteria of a community. And evil did not die that night, but maybe it did, because then Halloween Kills turns into Halloween Ends. And that one is the big mental health issue that we've got faced in this franchise. Because in Halloween Ends, we don't see Michael Myers very often. We really don't see Laurie Strode very often. We're faced with a brand new character who has his own mental health issues. And it's quite a journey. And there are, you know, just a lot of heavy themes of mental health issues and just coping skills and just so much in that final one that I really have reevaluated it since seeing it in the theater. Now, I remember going to the movie theater with my best friend, Crystal, and we're sitting there and we're watching this thing, and me and her have been on this Michael Myers journey for years, like almost 30 years now. And we're watching it, and then all of a sudden, Michael ain't showing up, and it's almost like 40 minutes in, and we just kind of look at each other and we're like, what is this? What's this movie? Like, we saw Laurie Strode, but she seemed happy. And then it was just a weird experience. But it makes sense when you start to really, truly analyze it for its mental health metaphors. Overall, I will give the trilogy probably an 8.5 out of 10. It was very nostalgic, very, very nostalgic. It was very well executed. But I would say Halloween Ends, the tone of it, the shift, is what brings it down from like a 9.5. It is a really good and well acted series of films. So check out Halloween 2018, but do it with the lens of mental health awareness and metaphors for that, because I think you'll get more out of it when you start looking at it through that lens. All right, so this was Coffin Talk, a short one, episode 4, Halloween 2018. See you all next time.